I should have more of an intro. I'll just grab something. I'll eventually say something out of pocket. As soon as I say something out of pocket, I'll make that the intro. Great. I kind of like it this dark. I know I can always brighten it in post, but look, you don't know how to do that. Hi, my name is Dami. I'm a writer, and today I'm going to be talking not about writing, actually. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience on YouTube, and just that's it. There's nothing else. I'm going to be talking about my experience so far on YouTube. I've been thinking about making this video after recently passing 500 subscribers. I know that's not like a big number to probably most people, but it's a big number to me because I never would have guessed, honestly, that I would have been on YouTube until very recently when I just took the plunge and did it. I wanted to talk about why I came to YouTube, because really what happened is I jumped ship. I used to be on Instagram and I jumped ship and now I'm on YouTube. I decided that the way I'm going to structure this video is through the 5 stages of grief, like kind of my breakup with Instagram. I'm still on Instagram. You can find me. I think it's under Dami Writes Here or something like that. I don't know. There's links everywhere. See, I don't even know what my Instagram handle is. And for the record, even though we think about grief as 5 stages of grief, grief is not a linear thing. It's this wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey sort of thing, and you can kind of experience all different stages of grief at any point in time. But I'm going to go through it linearly regarding Instagram. A bit of background in terms of having a public account. First was on Instagram back in 2017, 2018. And during this period of time, I was there cosplaying. So I was a cosplayer. I got into it while I was in medical school. Started my own Instagram in 2017, 2018, which was the end of medical school for me, and continued it through most of residency. Kind of trailed off 2020, 2021, and I'll get into the details of that later. When I was on Instagram at its peak, I had 10K followers, which is not a lot, but considering how hard it is now to build a platform on Instagram, I do kind of acknowledge that it is impressive, and it was doing pretty well with engagement. I had really awesome opportunities that opened up because of it. I was featured in Entertainment Weekly. I actually participated in a modeling gig. I modeled the Doctor Strange jewelry line for Rock Love Jewelry, and the concept behind it was I'm an actual doctor, haha, but also Doctor Strange, I'm a cosplayer, and so they reached out and asked if that was something I was willing to participate in, and so I was kind of part of their modeling line for that jewelry line, and that was a really just neat opportunity that I was able to engage in. It was fun, and I'm just doing something that I really enjoy, which is just dressing up as people that don't even exist. My mom and I also really bonded over the cosplay stuff. My mom's a photographer, so she does photography for weddings and events, and so this was her kind of her creative outlet as well. We would go out and explore different neighborhoods. We would travel to cosplay too. We went to New York City Comic Con together, and it was fun. We really enjoyed it. It was a great time. Back then, it was really hard to monetize cosplay, but not a lot of companies are reaching out looking for cosplayers, and they don't want to pay either. I did have a lot of people reach out oh, can you do this thing or showcase this, or for brand deals and stuff, but nobody wanted to pay, and I don't even know if that's changed much in the cosplay community. The jewelry line thing that I did, I was paid pretty well for that. It was really difficult to monetize. So my point in saying that is I was not engaging. I was not doing this because I was making any sort of money. And also cosplaying is a pretty expensive hobby, to be quite honest. I'm engaging in cosplay, and I'm cosplaying not because I'm making money, but because I just like it and I'm building a cool community. I start my account 2017, 2018, 2020 hits. 2020 happens, COVID happens, everything shuts down. Musical.ly becomes TikTok, right? And I am a resident. The doctors did not get off during COVID. So I'm working, I'm busy, and I'm not creating new content. Now, when I do come back to Instagram and cosplaying again and going to local conventions and photo shoots, it's 2021. But I start noticing when I'm posting on Instagram, people are not seeing my posts. Instagram starts picking up reels, right? They start doing reels. I start pushing videos more because TikTok is taking off. And so now it's reels, make videos. And I don't like it. I did not like making videos. I don't like making videos. I made a couple, but it's not, I don't enjoy it at all, because getting dressed up for cosplay is a whole event. If you were cosplaying, it's not just the outfit, it's the makeup, it's the hair. It's a whole event. If I'm doing a cosplay photo shoot, the day is gone. And so I'm not putting on all the glam in all of the makeup and all of the stuff just for me to like stand here and like make a video. And some people find that really fun, and that's fantastic if they find it fun. I think kudos to you. But I don't find it fun. I'm not an actress. I can really like pull in the character for like a photo shoot still, but for like a video or following trends, I do not get with the program when Instagram is pushing videos. I'm still posting stills. I try to post the videos. Some of them actually do pretty well now that we've kind of introduced reels and videos, and the general consensus too now with Instagram and TikTok is they're just faster paced. And I am not creating new content that quickly. Like, I'm not in a new cosplay like every week. Like, if I do a shoot, it's maybe one shoot a month or once every couple months. I'll get a lot of photos then. I can't give you that much new content. And then videos on top of that, like, it's just really hard to keep up. Instagram makes that transition from photos to videos, and I do not make the transition with it. The first stage of grief is denial. I have 10,000 followers, and the impressions are something like 180. So forget like how many like likes and comments and things like that I'm getting. I'm getting like maybe 30, 40, 50, at most sometimes 60 likes. I have 10,000 followers and 200 people are seeing my posts. This is ridiculous. Like, Instagram really punishes you if you're not always engaging with the app. And I can't say that that's the same for TikTok. I imagine that's the case, but it punishes you when you disappeared. And I did disappear because it was COVID. At first, my thought is, okay, maybe it's just that I disappeared and I just need to be more consistent with it. Even if I'm going to post like one video once in a while, but I'm just not consistent enough. I just need to post consistently. But I start posting consistently. I'm on stories, and even in stories, I think like 20 people are like watching your stories or even viewing your stories, seeing that your stories are there. Out of 10,000 followers, like, you're just not showing my followers my stuff anymore. So that was kind of like the denial. It's like, I just need to post more. I just need to be more consistent. I did not need to be more consistent. Instagram was done with me. And that's okay. It just was. So the next stage of grief is anger. And so of course I'm frustrated with this. I'm like, what the heck? This is stupid. I can't even engage with my community because they're not seeing anything anymore. I like refuse to do this Reels video thing because that just to me seems like a colossal waste of time for something that's probably not even going to do well. Sort of cosplay videos that were doing really well were those sort of like switcheroo videos with the transitions and stuff, which requires that you have more than one cosplay like in the video. And I remember even following some of the bigger cosplay content creators, and they would talk about how like this video took them like 8 hours to make, which makes sense. It's a lot of work. I'm on Instagram not with the intention to like make it. Like, I'm not here trying to become a famous cosplayer. I'm not here trying to get noticed by the algorithm. I'm not looking for 100,000 followers or anything like that. In fact, I would not want that. I'm not even trying to monetize necessarily. I just want my community back. So that's what's also frustrating. Like, I'm not trying to do the most. Like, can you just show my current followers my stuff? That's all. That's fine. But they said no. So I said, okay. So the next stage of grief is bargaining. So then I think to myself, then fine, I'll just post other stuff here. Like cosplay, I can't keep up with the cosplay Instagram Reels, what you guys want from me. I can't keep up with it. There goes my entire, like, there goes the community. And I still kind of engage with who I see and things like that. But also at the time, Instagram starts really pushing these like ads, right? Like these sponsored posts. So you're not even seeing your like people you follow anymore. They switched from chronological timeline. Y'all remember that switch? And I'm not also engaging in cosplay as much anymore because I'm also just less interested in it. I'm not less interested in it because of my cosplay account. I'm less interested in it because I'm less interested in it, like for no good reason, for no apparent reason. So every now and then I do kind of have the compulsion to cosplay. Like my most recent cosplay, for example, was Jinx from Arcane. I also kind of will blame, frankly, post-Infinity War and post-Endgame Marvel, which just like has been struggling. And so that also was part of it, because I think that was a big part of my interest in cosplay was the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What do I enjoy? What I enjoy right now is writing and reading. Those are like the hobbies that have never left my body. Like I go in and out of hobbies often, but that was one that did not leave my body. And also at the time, I think I was picking up like DJing as well. Your punishment is set. Like I said, I just like get interested in lots of different things. I allow myself to get interested in them and just have fun with it. And if I dump the hobby, I dump the hobby, and that's okay. I started going to like raves and EDM shows and festivals and really enjoyed that. So I was engaged with a lot of that sort of content on the internet. I actually just create a brand new account and I try out bookstagramming some because I like books, I like reading, and I'm engaging in that. And I actually really enjoyed the act of like pretty flat lays and stuff like that. Like I said, my mom's a photographer, so I picked up a lot along the way. And so I actually enjoy photography as well. The community was actually very open, super welcoming, but I had a hard time with consistency. Also, I do get bored, frankly, of just posting like bookish stuff. I want to post more about like EDM shows. At this point, social media. The biggest advice was to figure out your niche in general, right? I did not want to do that because I'm a stubborn goat, and I was like, I don't want to niche down. I have all these other interests. And so what ended up happening was like me like trying out like a Bookstagram account, and then later on trying like cosplay again and seeing if that would like take off, like a brand new account. And then I was like, well, maybe if my niche is that I don't have a niche. Like I'm trying all these different things, and it's clear too that frankly, like my heart's not in it. You know, I even tried other social media platforms because I was like, look, your heart is not in Instagram. Like you don't like these videos, you don't like these reels, you don't like being here. Interests just really do ebb and flow, can really like just depend on the day, the season. I'm trying to figure out what works for me, and nothing really does. So I straight up just like abandoned social media. This happens like 2022, 2023-ish. I just straight up like abandoned social media. Yeah, I have like an account and I'm on there, and I sometimes like scroll to see what's going on, but I'm not about it. I guess this stage of grief would be more like depression. I'm just like, I guess I'm not on here anymore, and that's just that, and that's sad, but it's whatever. After residency, I start writing again. And so I start writing, and in 2 years, I complete 2 books, 0 drafting with another, and have 3 to 4 like plot bunnies just kind of scrambling around that's somewhat drafted with a couple of chapters under their belt. But then, once I get my publishing deal and like the agent's on the horizon, I'm then thinking to myself, I do need to get back on social media. And this time though, I'm thinking more from like a marketing perspective. Like just to debunk this tip, you do not need a social media presence to publish a book. I think this advice may or may not be applicable if you're doing like nonfiction, writing a memoir or something like that. But if you're writing just fiction, you do not need a social media presence or a platform to find an agent or publishing deal. My cosplay account was private. When I was looking for an agent, I didn't even like mention my cosplay account. Yeah, but I'm thinking now to myself, like, I think I do need a social media presence because I'm thinking about marketing. And I try and get back into it. I have kind of, you know, met some cool like writers through Instagram, but the platform's not for me. And I think that's like the final stage of grieving for me, which is like acceptance, right? Like, this platform is not for me anymore. I finally like accept that. Like, you don't like it here. Like, Dami, you don't like it here. Like, you don't like it here at all. You're not on Instagram, girly. Instagram's not for you. My sister does start an Instagram and it starts doing really well, and I'm so proud of her. I'm gonna post it actually because I'm so proud of my sister. She's amazing. She has like a lifestyle Instagram, but it's also her like life as a resident physician because she's also a resident and she is a psychiatry resident because she's a copycat. But I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a I'll post her Instagram because I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. But it's not for me anymore. It's just not. The thing about TikTok and Instagram, so let's get into a little bit like psychology together. Those 2 social media platforms work through variable interval positive reinforcement. You are rewarded for a behavior, but kind of as the name suggests, through varying intervals. The reward is you find something entertaining, or you are entertained and you laugh a little bit. But how often does it take for you to find that post? Sometimes it's like every single post is like fire. Sometimes you're just scrolling, and then you hit something and it's jackpot and it's diamond, and you're just like, lol, that was great, and it's hilarious, and you send it to everybody and it's fantastic. And you're like, yes, so you're rewarded. Now, the reason it works is because the intervals vary. It's not consistent, which means you don't know when you're going to run into a post that's like hilarious or like a post that slaps. It's successful because you don't know when the next one's coming. And so you stick around for maybe longer than you would intend because you know that the capacity for, you know, entertainment is there, but you don't know when it's going to happen. And so that's how they keep you there. I hate that because you'll waste so much time and you wouldn't. And then the thing is, at the end of your like scroll session, you've wasted all this time and you only have like 2 or 3 like laughs to show for it. I like to keep busy. And so scrolling like in my free time just isn't something that I do that happens. Like maybe when I'm like watching something and I'm not super entertained by it, I might be scrolling a little bit, but I'm not just like scrolling in my free time. If I'm scrolling, it's I'm procrastinating on writing my notes. Like that's I don't want to do something, and that's why I'm more likely to scroll actually, which might be the case for most people. But I'm not scrolling in my free time. In my free time, I want to write. Maybe I get kind of bored and I don't want to like write something, and so I go to Instagram and I'll scroll. Like that still happens to me. Okay, let's not play games. Like I'm not this like, ew, like social media is above me, please. Like, no, it's not. One way to like break out of like the cycle is for it to just never show you anything good, which is like the equivalent for TikTok to me, because I just like, I don't I'm not on TikTok. And so if I go there, I'm immediately like, I don't like any of this. TikTok doesn't know what I like yet. And so it's easy for me to hang out on TikTok for literally like 3 seconds. Instagram, not so much. I've been on there long enough. They know what I like. And I sometimes wonder if other people have actually realized this. Like, I think a lot of people actually have not really realized this, but we are not consuming TikTok and Instagram the same way we were 5 or 6 or 10 years ago. Social media used to be social. The intention was building a community. Like, that was the whole point. Keeping up with friends, finding new friends. The intention was to be social. These platforms aren't anymore. If every third post is an ad or a sponsored post, so someone wants you to look at it to buy something, and the only thing Instagram and TikTok is showing you is stuff they think you'll like, which isn't from people you already follow, how are you engaging with anyone you're following? You're just not. Like, that's part of the reason why people are more likely to look through your stories. Like, it's easy, there's less ads there, and it's easier to catch up with what people are doing. I'll see like posts of people kind of complaining like, how come people are watching my stories but don't even comment on my posts? And I'm like, well, for starters, they're probably not even seeing it, because that's how algorithms work. And second of all, we're not consuming it the same way. I think creators and people who are on there with the intention to create and to grow a platform were thinking about it as, please like, comment, subscribe, so that so that my viewership will increase and improve. Regular people are scrolling to be entertained. It's the new cable. In the same sense that I'm not going to Hulu or Netflix to comment to let the people who created the film know I like it. Like, I'm here to consume. Like, I'm here to consume content. Like, social media is now a consumption, like, space. Like, your friends are not necessarily commenting on, like, random people's posts. The average user consumer who's not engaging in any capacity, who's not trying to build a following or viewership or anything like that, who's not trying to be a content creator or a creative, they're just scrolling. Like, they're just scrolling. Saving is so that I can laugh later. Hearting, even for me, now that I'm just like not there much often, and like when I heart something, it's with the intention that I'll be able to find it later, because Instagram will show me these are all the things that you've liked. And so it's like my history. If you even think about Instagram, when you go on Instagram and you're on your actual feed, like you have some still photos and you come across a reel, and you are sitting there in your feed watching the reel. If it's too long of a reel, it pauses it, and so you have to click on or tap the reel to open it up in like full view. And when you do that, you leave your entire feed. So you started off Instagram in your feed where all people you follow are, in theory, waiting for you, amongst a whole bunch of sponsored posts and ads. You come across a reel you like. It pauses. So you click it so you can finish watching the reel. The moment you do that, you're not in your feed anymore. Even in my own private Instagram, where most people I follow are actual friends, I don't see their posts. Like, I don't see it. I only see it really in stories. I think there are spaces, and there are, like, I've seen writers who do it, who are really able to like create a community there. And I think I applaud them. I think they're good at what they're doing, but it's not something I'm good at. I don't know how to do that with this space anymore. It's changed too much. Maybe that makes me old. Maybe that makes me like archaic. Maybe that makes me a dino. Maybe that makes me a Luddite. Like, I don't know. I can't figure out how to make the system work for me where I am also fostering a community. I can't figure out how to do that. So that's that. And so that's me accepting it. And so kind of like the final stage was, well, what about the actual jump? Like, what happened? So how'd you get here? Well, I asked myself, girl, if you don't like Instagram, leave. Where do you want to be? Like, where do you like being? Like, where do you like existing? Where do I have fun? My number one app that I used for years has been YouTube. I like it because I can put it on in the background, and so while I'm getting other stuff done, while I'm cooking, while I'm cleaning, YouTube is on. It's like a podcast, or I can listen to somebody doing stuff, and they're not always podcasts, but I can listen while they're telling me something. The videos are longer, which means I'm not like thinking, I'm not stuck like, in order to be entertained, I have to be glued to the phone to scroll. Like, that's how TikTok, Instagram works. Like, I have to be on the phone and I can't really be doing anything else, which is actually wild. With Instagram and TikTok, that's the only thing you're doing. You literally cannot multitask. You literally cannot do something and scroll on TikTok and Instagram. Like, you can't do that. Even if you're like, oh, I'm watching TV and scrolling. You are not watching TV. You're not watching TV. They can turn it off. You'll notice that it's off, but you are not watching TV if you're scrolling, because you have to watch what you're watching, decide if you like it, decide if it's funny. If it's not funny, you have to scroll over to the next thing. You have to pay attention to know if it's funny. These are video-based apps now. Like, let's not play games. Instagram is not a photo app anymore. It's a video app. Part of the engagement with TikTok is the visuals. You have to watch the video, be listening to what's happening, or read the caption if you don't want the audio on. You have to focus like when you're on Instagram, TikTok. I feel like people aren't like honest with themselves, like low key. I feel like people are not honest with themselves about that aspect of TikTok. You're entirely focused on TikTok and Instagram. Like they work very well. You are focused. You are only doing that though. You're not multitasking. You're lying to yourself if you're telling yourself that you are multitasking. I'm watching a movie and I'm also on TikTok. You're not watching a video. You're not watching a movie. You're on TikTok. Until you put it down, then you're watching the movie. Like you cannot do both. And I know people will kind of say like, well, I can kind of do both. I'm paying. No, you're switching your attention each time. Okay? You cannot watch 2 videos at once. You're bored of the movie. That's why you're on TikTok. Sorry, that was a mad rant. So I'm not there. Where are you? I'm on YouTube because I can actually multitask with YouTube, because YouTube, I can put like someone ranting about a book I like or a book I don't like or whatever. They're ranting about it in the corner. I don't have to watch them rant about it. Yeah, I might miss some stuff, but I don't have to watch them to rant about it. It's basically like a podcast for me. I listen to somebody tell me a story or someone tell me something and I'm cooking at the same time. It's long form content, and so I don't have to keep scrolling. YouTube seems to be pushing for even longer form content, like 40 minutes, an hour. Like those are the videos that do well. Like people will watch it. I wasn't really on authortube much until I actually joined authortube. But even then, like seeing different authors like post on each other's like YouTube videos and engage and see like the swaps of pages going on, the YouTube live streams happening. That's community. Like that's actually what community looks like. And so I'm seeing that actually happen on YouTube as well. Like I said, I didn't like the idea of making videos for Instagram. Like part of the thing that made me hate Instagram was the video content. So then my brain is like, so why would you come to a video only platform, you dunce? And so that was kind of what made me nervous. I will be honest, like that's what made me a little bit nervous. But what I realized is I don't mind making videos. Actually, my issue is not I don't like making videos. My issue is that I'm not an actress, and if I was going to do like cosplay content like that, there's a degree of like acting that kind of almost needs to happen, and I didn't want to invest like 8 hours doing a whole bunch of outfits for like a 20-second video. I'll film for an hour, but I have this content that's like 40 minutes long, not 5 seconds. And to me, that's just like a little bit more meaningful. Something else I did not realize too about YouTube was this aspect of evergreen content. People use YouTube as a search engine. Now I've heard of people using TikTok and Instagram as search engines, and I'm just like, how? And low key also like the AI meta or whatever makes Instagram's search engine almost completely unusable, quite frankly. You want to learn how to do something, look it up on YouTube. Like, how do I do this thing? Look it up on YouTube so someone can explain it to me. So I don't need to have my posts go viral right now. That was the problem with Instagram and TikTok too, was if your post on Instagram, on TikTok does not go viral within the first 30 minutes of it being posted, no one will see it. YouTube, I think like to a degree works similarly, right? But people can still find your videos. Like a video you made 2 years ago or last month can pop off now or later if that becomes relevant again. At any point in time, your videos can pop off from a pure luck perspective. Like that's all the luck part of things. If you go to your For You page on YouTube, there's videos there that were posted 8 years ago. It'll be like, look at this again, or look at this. This is kind of relevant to what you recently searched, and it's from 10 years ago. I've seen videos where people complain a lot about YouTube, and it seems to frankly come from larger creators. And this is not to diminish their complaints or say that they're out of touch or anything like that. I think their complaints are totally valid. I think YouTube is like totally screws over creators as well. I don't think it's a perfect platform. But for someone starting from zero and coming from Instagram, it's an upgrade. Like it's absolutely an upgrade of a platform. You know, my YouTube algo is not perfect. I do notice that sometimes it tends to show me like the same video 20,000 times, and I'm like, I still don't want to watch that video. Like there's a reason I haven't clicked on this video, but it will show it to me like forever. And I'm like, and then I click on the video and I'm like, yeah, I did not want to see this video. And then sometimes it still keeps pushing the same video and I'm like, can you stop this? With YouTube, I think people actually like following the small creators. I think people actually like seeing people's journey and people's growth and being part of it. So many early videos for people are actually like one of their best or do really well because people like, this is my very first video on YouTube, or this is my very first time on YouTube, or I've hit like this small-ish milestone, 500 subs. And people are like excited to see that progress and progression. People actually want to be part of your beginnings. There are some TikTokers and Instagram reel people that I think do really well. Like I can think of a couple where I do kind of feel like engaged in like what they're doing. Like it's easier to almost build out their parasocial relationship with them. That I'm just like more interested in like what's going on in their life and what's the update. But I think it's just not me. It's not me. And that's okay. This isn't to say that if you like Instagram and you like TikTok and you are building a community, for example, I would say like my sister, for example, 100% totally building a community. Like she's meeting so many cool people, making new friends, And it's like, you can see she's absolutely building a community, and she's on Instagram. Okay. And so she's having a different experience than I'm currently, right, having on Instagram. I'm not interested. It's not for me anymore. I don't like it, and that's okay. She likes it. She's doing well on there. She's engaging with the community. She's meeting cool people, meeting them in real life, connecting other people. Like her IRL friends are like meeting some people she's meeting online, and like they're going out together and having fun and having a great time. And that's fantastic. That's kind of also what I'm looking for, but I am having a hard time garnering that personally on Instagram. That doesn't mean I'm like doing it wrong. I mean, I think maybe, I guess like objectively, there is probably a way for me to do it where I could also garner that sort of thing. But like, it's not for me, it's not my vibe, and that's okay. This isn't like a bash Instagram like sort of, and that's, I think that's like the joke almost at the end of this, is that this isn't like a bash Instagram sucks like sort of platform. Like, ugh, screw Instagram. Like, Instagram was not for me, and I need to go through all stages of grief for me to realize that like, this is not your place anymore. This can change. Maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, Instagram changes and I'm like, ooh, I'm vibing with this. I ain't vibing with it right now. If Instagram is for you, if you're making it happen, keep on keeping on. That is good for you. Keep on doing it for both of us, okay? If Instagram is not for you, or you like relate to any of this stuff, or this stuff kind of sounds like, you know, you're like, yeah, that's why I hate Instagram. Instagram sucks. Like that, that's how you feel. That's how I feel too. Instagram sucks. For me. So basically, in conclusion, I left Instagram because I had a hard time building a community again. I just couldn't figure it out. And now I'm on YouTube, and I feel like I have figured it out. Like this is a space for me, and it feels nice to have a space like this again. I haven't shared, maybe some friends have found this YouTube. Hi friends. I haven't really shared this YouTube channel with people in my real life yet, in part because I didn't know if this was going to be something that did not stick, because again, like I mentioned before, I tend to engage in a whole bunch of hobbies when I'm bored. Like I just do a whole bunch of stuff like DJing and when I'm bored or have some downtime, and so I didn't know if that was going to be, if YouTube was going to be that, like if YouTube was going to be a like, oh, here's like another thing that I'll do for like a month or two and realize it's not for me and leave. This is very much all organic, like just YouTube. Like that's how I built this page, this platform so far, is like I started from zero and like went from there. Like I'm not cross promoting or anything like that, because I kind of like having the separate space, almost because I feel comfortable like screwing up a little bit. Like I feel comfortable like not knowing what I'm doing and feeling awkward. I saw a video like a long time ago where someone recommended, like, if you're starting YouTube, what's great about YouTube is that you can start from zero and nobody knows you here. Like none of your friends know you exist here. Like nobody knows you're here. And it's nice to start off when no one is watching, because then you don't feel awkward, or you don't feel bad. Like nobody is watching you. And so there's something liberating about starting from zero and building up slowly, like as I figure out myself and my style and how I talk and how I work and what I like. So I don't imagine, I'm not cross promoting. I don't know if I will anytime soon. I think I'll probably cross promote more when my book is actually coming out for the sake of like sales. But it's been nice building up a community and a platform from zero. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope today's video was mildly interesting or entertaining. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you in the next one.
I wish we could skip right to the end, but we keep dancing slowly.